I would like to give some context about my previous video exposing narcissistic and toxic behaviors. I think that was the title, because I know that this video is not for everyone, but that topic is really close to my heart, and I really keep it in my heart, and it's very important for me because I myself come from that background of narcissistic abuse and hardcore manipulation because of my mom, who was basically daily, constantly abusing me physically, punishing me, using me to avoid taking responsibility for what was happening in the family, sexual abuse, manipulation, and all kinds of shit. Like, it was really like concentration camp, you know? So I come from that background. I think even before birth, I already felt like I'm bad for existing, or that I'm going to exist, you know, that I was something bad for her because she actually didn't want a child. Anyway, I don't want to go long in the story and the details, but it was always like, if I abuse you, it's your fault because you're bad and you deserve it. Some form of that, making me feel bad for her actions and for what was happening in the family, because in that way she didn't have to face what she was doing actually. Abuse, that she was violent, that she allowed others to hurt me also, etc. And what I wanted to say, why is it so important for me, this topic, and to work with the what's left, that repression, self-repression, and this very strong sense of identity that I am bad, something like this, and I deserve to be punished, and basically that I'm nothing. Because of my past and because of the people I work with, and I see how difficult it is for them to come out of that identity and to access their emotions about what happened. That's why we do this emotional repression work, and it takes time. You know, they start from a place where they actually can't even see through that identity, that they didn't deserve what happened, and that very, very strong unconscious belief in the background that they did this to me, so there must be something in me that make me believe that I deserve that because it already happened. So there must be something bad in me that justifies what they did. These are very, very strong and traumatic feelings and unmet parts actually within me and within them, the people I work with. And I know from experience that how challenging it is. It takes a lot of presence, practice, skills, a lot of compassion, love to stay in the process of finally bringing up that repressed, unconscious, buried anger, power, hurt, pain, and grief, actually, that we didn't have that parent, we didn't have that mother and father who cared for us, loved us, encouraged us, who saw our values. Because I actually don't grieve them. I grieve the mother and the father I couldn't have, and the missing experience, that I'm grieving the missing experience, not those fucked up people. Sorry to say that, but that's the truth. And so I see that phase in their process, when they learn to really access those emotions that actually make them see the reality of what happened and see the reality of the abuse and manipulation that no one on this planet Earth should experience, especially when we are very young, you know. It takes a long time, it takes a lot of courage, it's very challenging for a while for them, until they reach the point where they can set a boundary with those people. And it's a lifetime of boundary with a narcissistic, abusive parent who made them question themselves for decades, and they lost their power. They lost themselves in a way. And to regain it through this emotional repression work, this somatic work, this is for me the biggest thing on this earth in our society. That's the biggest thing that can happen to someone, that they actually go to the root of that pain, find themselves again, that they can feel their emotions again after decades of shutdown and anxiety, and they can finally say no to those people who disrespect them, abuse them, gaslight them, and making them question their own reality. And because I see their struggles, and I know my own struggles, and how long it takes, how much energy, focus, and courage it takes to reach that deeper dimension in ourselves, you know, and finally speak up and say no and set a lifetime of boundary with those harmful, abusive people. That's why I wanted to share that video, and that's why you will see me keep sharing about it, and that's why I don't like that new social media trend or wave that's been happening the last couple of years, that people who actually don't have the experience with actual abuse and manipulation and gaslight, which is really damaging, they call everything narcissistic, you know, and I don't like it. I really don't fucking like it, you know. My boyfriend didn't choose me, there is that other girl, so he's narcissistic. My mother didn't buy that bag, so I'm not important for her. She stepped over my feelings, she is narcissistic. Everyone is fucking narcissistic these days, and I just see it as a bypass, or to bypass our own triggers, you know. That's what I see. Like, just because someone triggers a sense of deficiency in you, it doesn't mean that they are like just narcissistic. Like, everyone is narcissistic who triggers you, and you just bypass taking responsibility for your own trigger by pointing your finger outwardly constantly on those people who trigger you. So that's a new social media trend that I actually don't like. And also because I find it disrespectful. Maybe it's too much to say, because I know that when you constantly call someone narcissistic and you just keep pointing your finger outward, etc., that itself comes from not having the experience actually, or realizing what narcissistic abuse and manipulation, what it is actually. So that's why you are just constantly doing it. But still, for me, somehow it feels like disrespectful towards those who actually went through this and been going through this very challenging processing that lot of damage and self-hatred that comes from that childhood abuse and manipulation. So that's why I said that video is not for everyone, and especially not for those people who follow this trend of calling everything narcissistic. It's not for you, because I don't want you to bypass with that video. Also, this is for those people who actually want to take responsibility for their trauma or whatever happened with them during their childhood, and they actually feel the power and the timing is right for them to re-own that and to process that for the sake of a better future, I guess. So yeah, thank you for listening. I felt kind of like, I just felt like I want to add that to make it clear.